When my Muslim friends say, "the Prophet said," it is clear to me that they're referring to Muhammad in particular. I know there are lots of prophets that have come in the world, but in this case, my Muslim friends are using a common word, prophet, to refer to someone specific and someone special. The word Messiah works in a similar way. Messiah is a common word that means an anointed one. In ancient times, people would be marked with oil or anointed to show they were given a special purpose. There were many people who were anointed in the scriptures. For example, the prophets were often anointed, and kings like Dawood and Suleiman, and the priests who offered animal sacrifices to God in the temple. But when the scriptures speak of the Messiah, they are talking about the one who was chosen by God to perform all these roles perfectly, who has all power and authority. That person is Jesus the Messiah, the anointed one. Now, the word Messiah is just the English pronunciation of the Hebrew word Mashiach. The Hebrew word Mashach means to anoint with oil, and Mashiach means an anointed one. For example, Dawood was chosen by God and anointed with oil to be king, and so was referred to as a Mashiach, a Messiah, an anointed one. Now, in the Greek language, the language of the Injil, the word for Messiah is Christ. So Jesus Christ is Jesus the Messiah. Okay, so how exactly is Jesus the Messiah? This begins in part with a promise God made to Dawood in the book of the prophet Samuel in the Holy Bible. God says to Dawood that long after you die and your rule has ended, will come a descendant who will rule forever as an eternal king. The people of Israel started to look forward to the coming of this promised anointed ruler. They called him the Messiah. The scriptures of God then continued to reveal more and more about who this Messiah will be and what he would do. God said concerning this Messiah that I will be his father and he will be my son. That the Messiah would be a shepherd to God's people. He would be an eternal priest, offering a perfect sacrifice to God, and he would be worshipped by people of every nation. But God also said the Messiah would suffer at the hands of humans. We're told his body would be pierced for the sin of others, but God's love would never leave him. This promised one, chosen one, anointed, is Jesus the Messiah. It is Jesus who fulfilled all that was said about the Messiah. Jesus taught the people about the kingdom of God. This was at the center of all of his teaching, that he is this eternal king of this eternal kingdom. And he shows his authority by his mighty miracles. He shows us that he is the chosen one by God who has power and authority to rule, to make God known, to shepherd, and to offer himself as the perfect sacrifice for sinners. We also hear God speak from heaven at the baptism of Jesus, where God calls him his son, whom he loves, just as God said in previous scriptures. Jesus also speaks about how he came to suffer and predicts his own death, as the prophets also did. And his final all-powerful act of his authority as the king of this eternal kingdom was him rising from the dead after being crucified in all the glory of an eternal king. His power is even stronger than death. All the scriptures before him point to him, the Messiah, the chosen one. They give us all we need to recognize him as the Messiah. The perfect eternal king has come. He has established his eternal kingdom. And as one who has overcome the enemy of death, he offers life in his kingdom to everyone.